Bom dia a todos, obrigado por estarem aqui a esta hora tão cedo para o início desta conferência. Eu chamo-me Clara Carvalho, sou a coordenadora nacional deste projeto MAP-FGM e, como já estamos um bocadinho em cima da hora e vamos ter hoje a possibilidade de ouvir a senhora Secretária de Estado para a Cidadania e Igualdade, vamos então dar início a esta sessão. E eu passava de imediato a palavra ao Vice-Reitor para a Ciência do ISCTE-UL, Professor Fernando Luís Machado. So, welcome everyone. My name is Clara Carvalho. I'm the local coordinator for this project, and I'm now going to give the word to Professor Fernando Luís Machado, the Vice Rector for Science at ISCTE-UL.
Hello, everybody. Good morning. Welcome to our university, ISCTE, Lisbon University Institute. I want to thank you, the Secretary of State, for being with us once more. She is also a social scientist, and she comes to our institution a lot as a due condition of member of the Portuguese government. And I want to thank Clara Carvalho for organizing this meeting, for participating in this project, and also the Center for International Studies, my colleague Lisbon Rodrigues, and our partner and the coordinator of the international project. Thank you for organizing the meeting and being here. Since I'm a social scientist, and although we are running out of time, I have to say two or three things about this topic. This is a topic that requires the intervention of us all, universities, public bodies, NGOs, the communities themselves, and society around the communities. But I think that social scientists 25 years ago had conceptions of a critical multiculturalism that in some way left in the shadow this kind of violations of human rights. So social scientists in the West 25 years ago, I'm a little bit old now, were responsible in a certain way for lefting in the shadow this kind of violations of human rights. Not everything is nice about culture. And 25 years ago, sociologists like myself and anthropologists defended, supported conceptions of multiculturalism. There's a lot of books and papers on it that said nothing about these kind of violations of human rights. Everything in culture was nice, and it was not true. I'm happy that these times are over, and now that many people are addressing these kind of barbaric violations of human rights. So thank you, Clara, again, because I can feel this topic very close to my own work for organizing this meeting.
So I'll now give the word to Lisbon Rodrigues, the Director of State.
Bom dia a todos e a todos. Good morning, everyone. My name is Luís Rodrigues, and I'm the Director of the Center for International Studies here at ISCTE. On behalf of the Center, I would like to welcome these morning guests, as well as the audience, for the opening session of this third international seminar of the multi-sectorial academic program on female genital mutilation/cut. The seminar that starts today, as you all know, is dedicated to institutional responses to female genital mutilation cut. It is an honor for me to be here representing one of the institutions involved in this project, funded by European funds. Let me say that the topic of this project and this seminar is particularly relevant for us, for our center. We As probably many of you know, we started as a Center for African Studies, and then we evolved for a broader Center for International Studies. But despite this transition, African studies remain one of the cores of our scientific activities, as this event demonstrates. However, as the coordinators of the project wrote on the website, female genital mutilation and cutting is also a reality in Europe, where it is estimated that 500,000 women have already been directly affected, and where around 180,000 are at risk each year. Around the world, the latest numbers point out to 200 million women affected. And the fact that this is a practice related to migrant communities poses several challenges to our institutional responses. Those of you involved in the project believe that one of the crucial tools that we have to face this problem that we have at our disposal is knowledge. And the project has considered the difficulty of training professionals in this field, and therefore one of the main goals of the project is to provide training courses for future professionals that will deal with this issue in their future careers, either education, social workers, in the field of psychology, anthropology, health, and even communication. And due to the complexity of this subject and to the need to acquire these kind of skills, the project had already managed to produce a guide, a multilingual guide with general and specific contents to support this kind of trainings. Today I have the distinct pleasure of welcoming scholars, practitioners, activists that work on this important topic, and you are gathered here not only for the advancement of academic knowledge, but especially for the better understanding and tackling of a complex and heterogeneous set of practices known as female genital mutilation cutting. So again, I take this opportunity to thank our guests and to thank the audience, and I'm sure that this seminar will motivate a very much needed and useful debate on this topic. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Vishnu. Now I'll give the word to Professor Laura Nunes from the University Rei Juan Carlos, who is the coordinator of the project.
Obrigada, bom dia. Caro reitor Luis Reto, Professor Nuno, querida Professora Clara Carvalho, dear college. I'm glad to be here with you in Lisbon to open this international seminar of the multisectoral academic program to prevent and combat female genital mutilation or cutting. MAP-FGM project has been designed to address the low involvement of the European universities to prevent and protect women and girls from MGMC. Gender equality has come through in the academic in a sporadic way. Still much has to be done to ensure that universities contribute to the values and objectives of gender equality. And this challenge is higher when it comes to women and girls who are at the intersection of identities like gender, class, ethnic origin, etc., that increase the discrimination. The initial survey we made in 5 universities involved in the project, Lisbon, Brussels, Roma, Barcelona, and Madrid, showed that before starting the project, only 13% of students had received information about FGMC at the university. Most of those who had heard about it did it through medias. Often they had a partial vision of the practice. showing that much has to be done to deconstruct stereotypes and build a non-stigmatizing knowledge about the practice. Thanks to its multisectoral and transnational aspect, MAP-FGM has brought together a wide range of academic perspectives. It has produced tools that allow inserting FGM in different levels and cures of under and postgraduate degrees of medicine, nursing, law, gender studies, anthropology, international relations, social work, education and communication. The most important tool is the multisectoral academic training guide that we have coordinated Professor Adriana Kaplan and myself, with the participation of professors and researchers from the following partners: King Juan Carlos University, Roma Tre University, Breyer University of Brussels, WASU and Angelo Celli Foundation, and of course, ISTE of the Lisbon University Institute. Also, we have trained university professors about FGMC to promote the insertion of the subject in the academic training of all future professionals in contact with victims of FGMC or girls at risk. Finally, the series of MAP-FGM international seminars is aimed at developing a set of academic multisectoral empiric knowledge which is practice-oriented and useful for policymakers, professionals, local institutions, and NGOs. We thank all researchers and experts who are taking part in those seminars and share their findings with us. It is the third out of 4 international seminars to be held during this year. The first one took place in Madrid, and the second one in Brussels. The paper of Madrid seminar are already available. We come here with some books, but they can also be downloaded on the project website. And soon the next publication with the results of the second Congress held in Brazil will be ready. Finally, I cannot forget to express our deep thanks to the DG Justice of the European Commission for its financial support and to ISTE team for preparing and hosting this seminar. Thank you. Obrigada.
Thank you. And before I give the word to the Secretary of State, I would like to say some few words. I hope you are listening. Professor Luís Nunes has already advanced with some numbers, and it was the overwhelming of these numbers that led us into this team that is now working about FGM. We start by speaking with one of the project leaders, Professor Adriana Kaplan, that is just here, that opened the path to knowing the entire team. And I thank Professor Laura Nunes and Professor Elsley and also Michela Fusaki, who didn't arrive yet, for their confiance, for their trust in the kind of work we are conducting here at ISCTE-UL. Of course, I would like to thank Professor Fernando Luís Machado and the Director of ISCTE and ISCTE-UL for creating the conditions for advancing with such a project. And also our partner in Portugal, the polytechnician from Leiria, where some of the formation has been conducted so far. In Portugal, we have a small but very good team led by Ricardo Falcão, who is just here, and I think that most of you know, and Marta Patrício. But we have also 2 great consultants, Carla Moleiro and Cristina Santinho. And it was thanks to this team that we were able to train now hundreds of future professionals, both here at ISCTE and at the Institute Polytechnic de Leiria. And I think this has been a great work that needs to be continued, and of which I'm really proud. I'm proud of this team, and I'm really proud about the kind of work we are now conducting and opening new perspectives for these future professionals in their knowledge about FGM cutting. But let me now, in this morning, also thank our special guests. First of all, of course, everyone that comes to this seminar, and our guests from Europe and from several African countries. And let me just give a small word about our guest that faced the CEF, the Service for Foreigners and Borders. That is never really a nice experience to have. But that faced that to arrive here and to be here this morning with us. And I would start to thank Dr. Fatou Saussar from, that is our keynote speaker, that is coming from l'Institut Fondamental de l'Afrique Noire in Dakar, Senegal, for giving us the keynote speak. I would like to thank my friend Fatoumata Jabalde, who is already someone of this house and this country, and of course from Guinea-Bissau, who is also my home country. I would like to thank also our distinguished guests that are coming from Guinea-Conakry, Alpha Amadou Bari, and Abdoulaye Dorossau, that is coming from Mauritania. These are realities that are not that well known in our country, and we are really lucky that this project enables us to invite them and to have a larger view about the reality of female genital mutilation cutting in different countries. Of course, we know that this project is mainly about what happens here in Europe, and in our case, of course, about the case of Portugal. And so I'm really honored to present the Secretary of State for Citizenship and Equality, Dr. Catarina Marcelino, who is one of the persons that have been more active in this country for gender equality and for equality in itself. Her work is well recognized from academicians, from the academy till the civil society organizations and the general public, and we'll be glad to listen to her. But I also have to notice something when I speak about Dr. Catarina Marcelino. She's not only the Secretary of State, she's also an anthropologist from ISCTE-UL. And so, and it's always a pleasure to have a fellow anthropologist that is leading this kind of combat. So thank you so much, Dr. Catarina Marcelino, and the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Good morning to all. Bom dia a todos e a todas. Good morning to you all. I want to, my English is not very good, so I'm going to read my text. I'm sorry, because I like to speak without papers, but in English it's not possible. I want to say hello, especially to our sisters from Africa and our sisters from Europe, from other countries, because it's very important to work together in this field. It's very important to have an action together to abolish this practice, and I think it's possible to do it, I believe. And I think in 2030, if we work together and we work strongly, we will do it. So I think it's, for me, it's very nice to have you here and can be here. And thank you, ISCTE, and thank you to the project and to give me the opportunity to be here today. So I'm going to read my text. I would first like to say thank you for the kind invitation to participate and congratulate ISCTE and its Center for International Studies for being part of this study and organizing this conference. This initiative today is fundamental to shed light on what needs to be done and what can be done to build knowledge, to instill action, to produce change. It is a great privilege to be here today with this group of experts. FGM is a dramatic violation of human rights, a dramatic form of sex discrimination. We must not allow it to continue. This practice denies women and girls their dignity, their rights, their future, their pleasure. In 2015, it was estimated that 49% of the total number of women aged more than 15 from practicing countries and residing in Portugal may have been subjected to FGM. According to UNICEF, at least 200 million girls and women globally have suffered FGM in 30 countries, more of which before the age of 5. This number will rise significantly by 2030 if current trends continue. The global nature of this reality must bring us together in our commitment. Responsibility falls upon all of us to unite and ensure that action is effective. I am proud to be able to say that in Portugal, this commitment has traveled across different governments. We have been steadfast in our efforts over time. Eliminating FGM is and have been a key public policy priority. Our first action program to eradicate FGM dates back to 2007, leading up to its current third edition now in force. Implementation of the program is coordinated by the Portuguese Commission for Citizenship and Gender Equality, with the support of a working group involving various public bodies and NGOs, including those representing migrants from communities affected by the practice. The Portuguese government assumes the work with civil society, proximity and articulation as hallmarks of its strategy. On the other hand, and in line with the Istanbul Convention, FGM was recently introduced as an autonomous crime in our criminal code, punishing those who practice it in and outside our territory. Other relevant legal changes include recognizing FGM victims as asylum applicants and granting FGM victims exemption from procedural costs. The health sector has also been a priority. We created postgraduate studies of FGM directed at health professionals who later become multipliers themselves within their own practice, but also with relevant communities. A guide for health professionals has also been produced. It clarifies which procedures must be followed to identify FGM occurrences and what medical criminal actions should be taken. According to the same guide, all detected cases should be registered in a health database, by age of victim, date of registration, type of mutilation, age and country where FGM was performed, among others. Last year, 80 cases were registered. We also produced guides regarding procedures for police forces and youth protection committees. Dissemination is promoted through relevant training actions. These three groups of professionals in the areas of health, police, and youth protection are frontline agents in the identification and prevention of FGM. It is therefore necessary to define concrete and specific procedural requirements for their intervention. Further to this, the Portuguese government is strongly committed to raising awareness and promoting wider engagement. In this context, reference should be made to the documentary that you will watch later today, This Is My Body, written by Inês Leitão and directed by Daniela Gameiro, with the support of the Portuguese government and 2 Portuguese municipalities. It was launched around International Zero Tolerance Day and has become a fundamental tool to inform and raise awareness on how FGM directly concerns Portugal and its citizens. On the other hand, 2016, we started a new campaign format. It takes place in national airports during summer and Easter school vacations, when families travel to their countries of origin. Material is distributed at boarding gates and flights instead to risk countries and the survey conducted at arrivals. This campaign was also brought to Bissau's airport by our partner, the National Committee for the Elimination of Harmful Practice and the Health of Women and Children of Guinea-Bissau, represented here by my dear friend, Miss Fatoumata Dialbalde, its president. It is not possible to produce effective changes without involving the communities themselves. This is very, very important. We need to involve the communities themselves. Work must be done with religious leaders and NGOs. This is our new front of work. We need to work with the communities and with the religious leaders, and we are doing together with Fatoumata and with Guinea-Bissau and with a very important religious leader from Guinea-Bissau, Professor Malanche Yassi. I never will say very well this name, but it's okay. It's not easy for me. Portugal shares this commitment at a global scale. Last March, the Portuguese government participated in the 61st session of the UN CSW in New York. In this context, Portugal organized a side event together with Burkina Faso, Italy, Guinea, Gambia, the European Commission, United Kingdom, Norway, and with the support of UNFPA and UNICEF. The focus was on building concerted action to eliminate this dramatic violation of human rights. On this basis, the motto was let's be the generation that eliminate FGM once and for all. It is indeed crucial that we turn this into a reality. We must work together, share practices and knowledge, and invest on the continued improvement of policies and interventions. This conference is a fundamental step in that direction, and thank you for this conference. The Portuguese government will carry on firmly. Despite our best efforts, there is admittedly still a long way to go. As the current FGM action program comes to an end this year, we are in the course of defining the next period of strategic planning. In this context, eliminating FGM will continue to be a priority intervention area framed under the Istanbul Convention. Your contribution is fundamental to build better informed public policies and to turn this priority into effective change. Thank you for your engagement, and I wish you great success for the conference and very fruitful discussion today and tomorrow. Thank you very much.
So, thank you so much for your words, and we'll now start our normal session with our keynote speaker.